I've been thinking lately as to how easy it is for our brains to be tricked. Now, I'm going to show you some visuals here that if you're prone to epileptic seizures, motion sickness, some of these might bring on those symptoms. But the point to all this is to show you that if our brains can be tricked visually, how else can our brains be tricked? I mean, we've learned how to now craft elements that give visual effects that just warp our minds. They're 3D and their motion and their movement, and it's quite beautiful. We've done it as well with lamps. I mean, today you can get anything you want in a lamp and have it done where this type of, you would think, technology would have been around for a while, but it's advanced. So here's a little exercise for you. Now try this out for yourself. Think of a number, write it down. Now double it. Now since you're obviously doing it and I can't hear you, you'll already know what you add. Add 6 to it, then half that, subtract the number you started with, and your answer is going to be 3. Weird, isn't it? And then we can look at pictures and realize how quickly we can be deceived. Paintings have been the way that we as a species have communicated. But yet, the wonderfulness of the mind is amazing. How we can begin to trick the mind to think we can fly or that we can walk on space. This actually works. Don't ask me why. I don't know, but it does. Now, this is a fun one. Maybe some of you have seen it, but if you haven't, go and do it. When you realize how quickly the brain will actually fill in missing parts, and the brain does this automatically. Now, while you're reading this for yourself, understand what your brain is doing. It's actually filling in the missing parts and rearranging them. Wild, is it not? Now, if we can do this with this, think about your reality. Now, some have difficulty seeing the objects in here, others don't. They can see it automatically. And again, it's how we perceive things, how your brain and your mind in your reality perceives things. And when you begin to understand how this kind of art works, it's quite intriguing because your mind is really expanding. And when you do these exercises more and more, you begin to realize how quickly your acuity perception of reality changes. It becomes, I don't know if awareness is the right word. Maybe it opens it up to the fact that there are, in fact, multiple dimensions. M.C. Escher was one of the artists of our time who seemed to excel in this. He had the ability to see things from multiple perspectives. Maybe one could say even multiple dimensions. Hard to say. But you have to love a mind who can see and then to articulate in the language of drawings. And we marvel at this as to how reality can easily be warped, changed. I mean, this is what maybe the subconscious mind sees. Maybe this is how reality truly is. Hard to say. But one thing's for sure. A human mind conceived this. And oh my, when we talk about our minds, our brains, the brain is an organ, and what it's capable of doing, it's amazing, is it not? To see how simple black and white pictures can change so quickly, and then how you can begin to add animation to it. Now, it's very difficult to determine how tall or how small. Is it not? What a mind. This is MC Escher right here. But again, it's how your brain perceives things. We now understand a new world of math called fractals. Does this not just blow your mind a little bit? This is how their world looks. And then we begin to realize, as more and more how scientists begin to study the brain and how we see things, how quickly the eye and the brain connect, and how we can begin to look at things and realize that even in a static position, they're always changing. By the way, try to count the black dots. Good luck. And then we can easily trick the mind into thinking that, well, a flat surface can actually move. And as you begin to stare and you begin to realize that how simple black and white can confuse the mind so quickly. So which is turning faster, A or B? And this shows you how you're perceiving the visual acuity of what your brain's taking in. I mean, if 2 wasn't enough, how about 5? And this one's always fun. Talk about something that never ceases to change. And remember, this is your brain doing this. It can seem sometimes to almost, well, give you almost the vertical feeling, right? And how you can begin to have this effect of, I don't know, movement. But the 3D art, you just have to love it. When you really begin to take time and you stare and you begin to look, it opens up whole new worlds to you. Because it is about what your world is, isn't it? Isn't it how you perceive things? Because that's how you define reality. It's how we all define reality. And we can look at pictures like this and realize how quickly our minds can begin to change. Now do this one. So stare at the center dot for 60 seconds. And I'll kind of just time it here. Just keep your focus in there. Just relax. Your eyes will absolutely adjust to it and continue to stare. And just follow in on the dot. Look very close into this and continue to stare into it. Don't lose your focus. Continue to stare. Now, look away for a second. Whoa, huh? You have to admit, that's cool. And it's how things change. I realized that as I could see things and realize that sometimes what I'm seeing is not what I'm seeing. All right, do this one real quick. Repeat the number 6 in your head as fast as possible for the next 15 seconds. Well, no. Can't do it. Because movement, it changes things. How we, our feet on the ground. That's what they say, earthquakes are more unsettling than tornadoes or hurricanes. Not that any of those are good, but with the earthquake, the ground begins to move and undulates. And it just makes you feel kind of like you're falling into the middle of a huge, I don't know, black hole maybe? But then again, you can look out and the whole landscape is moving and churning. And this infinity of motion coming at from different perspectives. Our eyes try to focus in on something that we can hold to. But when you do, you begin to realize that there's even more within that. Quite spectacular, is it not? And how we actually enjoy these things. Well, some people may not. But many of us remember these as children, having the old kaleidoscope. Is that cool? But again, just black and white. Isn't it amazing? And check that out. Yeah. It can actually just kind of swallow you in. Moves. That's amazing. To see how the stars come out at us. How the universe imitates art. Or is it art imitating space? I don't know, or the universe. Kind of hard to figure that out, isn't it? But nevertheless, it does change our perspective. How things move. And that's how it is in our lives as well. Sometimes things just continue to come at us. And this is so true as we walk through life, that like the universe, seems like it never ends. But visually, it's quite stimulating, isn't it? Yeah. Amazing what the eye can perceive and how the mind puts in all the missing pieces. How we can put shapes within shapes and blend in to the natural environment. But always finding the fascination. And this is what it is. It's being fascinated. Keeping that open mind of wonderment. Now, some of you have gotten a little sick. I apologize for that. But again, it's how we perceive things. Now, this is a lot of fun. Do this one for about 60 seconds. Good luck passing a sobriety test, right? And so, as I end this, I just wanted to let you know that our brains can, in fact, are easily tricked. We do it all the time. It's called cognitive dissonance. And when you begin to understand how your mind works, you can begin to put your brain into a place that you can begin to take control of that. And that's what really this is about. Because in the end, your universe, your reality, is what you perceive it to be. We live in a world of multiple realities. And you can see how the human mind works. I love this. And even nature itself will give us a trick, doesn't it? So remember this. Life is still exciting. It still has wonderment to it. And you can become more a part of your environment. So as I close this out, learn to be happy and just follow the facts. Forgive others, accept your mistakes, cry and move on, thank God for everything, and folks, smile always and be kind to one another.